M0FXB, welcome to my channel. We've got the D99 DMR radio here. We're on the TXQ walkie-talkie site here, downloading the drivers and programming software, which the programming software has been nice and easy. You can double click here, the RAR. It's called YM219, double click and it just opens up DMR-XE, and there you are. Very pleased with that. Click across here, ignore that for a minute. Click the third one in, and it says English, and we can now, I know how to program. But the problem we're having is the driver is the problem. So if we go back to the driver that they give us, like so, keep going back, double click here, it says C7000 USB driver, double click, and we have to do this software sort of thing. I've not done it before. INF Wizard XE. Double click that. You do have to make sure the radio is connected, which it is. It says this program will create an INF file. So the radio is connected, all plugged in and turned on. Click next. Then what will happen when you do it correctly, it will show the radio up here, and then you run it through. Let's just keep going until we find the radio. It will show up C7000. I find that if you extract it using WinRAR into a folder, then you end up with this blue little wizard like this. Double click that, then click next. And then I find that this is where, when I'm using that wizard, it does show up. And you have to keep trying. It takes a few times turning on and off. But eventually, C7000 will show up. So it's quite fiddly. I don't know why they haven't released this radio with, with a much better way of installing. There it is there. See, that time it worked. Vendor walkie-talkie C7000. Now, I have gone into my laptop and told it to allow unsigned drivers, and I'll put a link of a video that I made doing that in the description. So next. So it should let me go in now. I'm just going to do what it says here. I've created a file called D99. So we'll just, your file name, I just call it D99. I don't think it matters what you call it. And then we'll just go save, and then we go install. Yes, and so now it takes about, and then this time when you've told it to allow unsigned drivers, it gives you the option now where you can say install it anyway, going against their rules, and it's installing. You should see a window here where it's installing it, which is great. We get to the point, you wait and see in a minute, you'll see that it installs. Fast forward if this is boring. And it will show up. So I am pleased with the radio. I mean, it was only £60. It looks nice. I can program it manually using analog, no problem at all. It does receive D-Star. I have to hold the button down beneath the PTT, and it says monitor, and that puts it into promiscuous type mode, and then I can just listen to my different hotspots. But what it is, I can't, when I'm creating a DMR channel, because it lets me create everything, it doesn't let me select a contact manually, which is a shame, because if I could do that last process, I could program this by hand without even needing a code plug, although of course we want a code plug. Right, it says installation successful. So now when we go right click device manager and we look here, what you do see a C700 appear. Let me just unplug it and plug it in, and I found that eventually it appeared. Again, it's faffing around. So I don't know what, I think what they need to do is just the Wurai, is it Wurai? The people that are selling this on AliExpress, they need to make it a lot easier for everything else seems fine. It's just the USB driver is a pain in the neck.